It's Block Lounge Entertainment, and the time is right with Tpri.
What's up, loungers? I hope everybody is doing as great as I am today. Shout out to everybody who will actually catch this replay. For those of you who will come in and listen to the show, I've got a lot to say. I think there has been quite a bit of information and rumors and conversations and whispers going around the sector. And I think only myself and Breaking the Culture can actually speak for these situations. So I'm going to speak my piece on this situation. She's entitled to speak her own piece on it, but I'm going to speak my piece on this situation. There's been a lot of beef about, a lot of questions about whether me and Breaking the Culture are beefing. It seems to be a lot of conversations about stuff being said, allegedly that she says, or then it turns around allegedly that I say. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of nonsense. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give my story on this situation. Okay. And I'm going to talk about this. And, we'll get some conversations or hopefully some questions answered and at least, go from there. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and play a quick 5-minute timer for you guys. I know that some of y'all don't like my little long ass timers, but that's okay. That's just to get you guys warmed up for the show so you guys can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. But yeah, we're going to get into this conversation tonight because I'm just really kind of sick of hearing all these rumors and all this back and forth. And we're just going to get into it. And also, a couple of other things too, but particularly in regards to whether or not me and Breaking the Culture are beefing. Okay. And then we're also going to get into the Void a little bit and what's going on with the Void and what happened with that. All right. Not much, but just a little. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play this quick timer. You guys, again, go ahead and grab up your libations or whatever you need, and then we'll get right into the show. I definitely appreciate you guys checking me out tonight. Shout out to my opinion, Miss LB, and Pixie Longjot. I always appreciate you being in the building, one of my long-standing loungers. And all 20 of you that are in the clouds. I know that that number will probably grow. I really appreciate you guys just kind of listening in for a second, because there's a lot that I really want to say. You know, there's a lot that I wanted to say for a while. I've been sitting back and just kind of watching and just kind of listening and observing, right? I've had a couple of conversations with Breaking the Culture behind the scenes regarding a lot of this. Some of this stuff we haven't talked about. There's been some things that I've been very quiet about lately, and she has too. And I admire that from her, and I think she would admire that from me. And I think there's a reason why we're doing it, okay? And I'm going to speak on what I feel the reasons are, and I'm going to speak openly about the energy that I feel in this situation, okay? And I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the podcast and when we started this thing, and the things that we talked about, some of her fears and some of mine, and where we are today, okay? And we'll go from there. So I remember, and I'm going to make this very clear, and I'm not sure if there's just some people, well, I'll say that I know that there are just some people who just want to create chaos between myself and this lady. So they are willing to say anything, regardless of whether there's any evidence of such or anything. They're just willing to say anything. Hey, what you going to do about it? I appreciate you being in the building. They're just pretty much willing to say anything that they can to try to cause a divide between me and this woman. They have been doing that for quite some time. Excuse me, guys. I had another video that was trying to play in the background. Anyway, they've been trying to do that since the beginning of this, and since they first heard about the void, right? Most of you did not know about the void until I actually showed up in New York with Shakem and with Breaking the Culture. And when we went on live and we kind of announced it to everyone, right? That, hey, we got this new podcast going on. We've got a lot happening. But I had, prior to that, done a video. And I'm going to put a link to that video in this description box, because I want you guys to hear what I did say in that video. I want you guys to hear that I said that I was approached with what could be a life-changing deal, which is true. Breaking the Culture did approach me with a deal regarding a podcast. In that deal, we had intended to push the podcast far enough to get the audience and the ratings up as much as we could, so that YouTube could pay us to do this podcast, which is something that YouTube has rolled out to a few content creators back in when this first was brought to my attention. Now it's come a little bit more full circle. There's more people that are getting that same conversation with YouTube. But at the time, it was more in a pilot stage. And Breaking the Culture was one of the people that had received that information. So she had approached me with that, and we talked about starting this podcast. Not one time did I ever say that the podcast was mine, that it was my idea. And I would absolutely, for those of you who are putting that rumor out to Breaking the Culture, I want you to show the evidence of that. Now, you've been put on Front Street to do it, because that never happened. I'd never, ever, ever said this was my idea. What we did say was we built that brand together, and we absolutely did. There were certain parts of the brand that she put in. There were certain parts of the brand that I put in. She came up with the name. She loved the name. Her and I fought about that name. And she knows that. She'll tell you that. I couldn't stand the name. I thought it was too long. I thought it was all kinds of stuff, but she loved it. And I was like, okay, so we're going to go ahead and compromise on that. I put together the logo with the help of her boyfriend, right? Shout out to him. We put that together. We worked on it. We worked hard on it. We worked long on it. I put some music selections together. And there was other things that we both did together. We worked on that brand for an extended period of time before we even brought that information to anybody else, including Shakim, including the other people that I approached about the podcast and everything else. So there never was a time where her and I were stabbing each other in the back and saying anything to anybody else regarding this podcast. These were conversations that me and her had. This is how we worked on this. It wasn't until we got to New York and we went live, which honestly, that is probably the biggest thing I regret about that. That if I had known the reaction that we would have gotten, the reaction that we got, the stuff that came with us going live and talking about doing a podcast together in this sector, if you guys only knew the bullshit that came behind that. Everything from that day forward is literally what shaped what happened with the Shout into the Void. Everything. From that day forward, there started being all kinds of weird stuff that started happening. She's not making that up. Suddenly, Child Protective Services was at this woman's house. Suddenly, all this stuff was happening. All these things, all these phone calls and strange messages and strange packages and this and this. And I'm getting stuff to my house and all kinds of stuff. And I'm getting not even to my house and even to my aunt's house. I'm getting all kinds of stuff going on that only her or me would have known, right? Unless somebody was in the background doing some tinkering. Turns out that there was one person that did admit to doing that tinkering, that they were pulling up her information and they were sending CPS to her house. But I had always felt strange about that. I had always felt like, you know, even though she had blamed Let Me See Your Transcript for it as well, because of some paperwork that she said she had, it wasn't sitting well with me, because I knew that her very friend, who claims to be a friend, who had also claimed to be a friend to the very same person she was blaming for this, who had also claimed to be a friend to multiple people in this sector, and who had also stabbed those people in the back. It always sat in my spirit that she was the one contacting CPS, because she knew Kimberly's information. She knew Let Me See Your Transcripts information. She was giving them the name Kimberly just to throw that off and just so that information would come out to them, right? Okay, hold on. Let me read what you said. Hey, Money to Burn. You said, hey, Miss Tpri and Loungers, regarding the cam up in New York City, y'all was way too happy. You know, the sector frowns upon that. Exactly. We were happy, excited about a new thing, you know, and, you know, there was a lot of energy trying to separate that. There was a lot of energy trying to keep, you know, that negativity going, as it is even today. It's crazy, right? But we're going to talk about this because I really think it's healthy to have this conversation. I think it's healthy to have it publicly. And I think it's necessary at this point because, like I said, I see a whole lot of bullshit. I see a whole lot of, you know, the demons come out to play when it's dark. You understand what I'm saying? But when you open up and you brighten the place and you put a little light in the situation, they can't lie. They can't make up rumors. They can't make up stuff. They can only go by the facts. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So, again, just going back, you know, to that part of the situation. let's just go back a little bit to after, I left her home, okay, and I came back to Delaware. So like I said, the very next day, she had CPS at her house, okay? And CPS continued to come to her house multiple times. Multiple times. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice. It was at least 4 times that I know of, 4 or 5 times. Okay, and I think it was more than that. All right. But like I said, I told her it's not this one person calling them. Okay. It is definitely someone else calling. And you need to be cautious of who you're close to, because this woman is treacherous. She will be the type that will make you think that, oh, she's the type that'll nurse your wounds and she was the one that shot you. You understand what I'm saying? She's that type. She's the type that will push you off the edge and then extend her hand to help you. She's that type. That's just what she does. She's been doing that since the beginning of this sector. And there is a plethora of history proving it. But this is me talking to her behind the scenes by myself without anyone else backing what I'm saying, right? It's just me telling her. So she can only go by my word, and it's basically my word against this woman, right? So the only thing I can do is let her learn for herself. I'm not going to try to influence how she feels. I'm not going to try to tell her what to say, tell her what to think, or anything. But all I can do is give her what I know. In the mix of that, there was an extended period of time where we weren't recording, right, for the podcast. It was even like I barely heard from her sometimes, here and there, so every so often. And it got to the point where I would say, like, well, when are we going to record? Are we still recording? Do you still want to do this? And her answer was always, yes, I do still want to do this. I'm just still dealing with so much regarding this CPS stuff and regarding everything going on with that. As soon as I get all this situated, I'm going to put a receipt show out about this and about that. And then as soon as we're done, then I'm going to go ahead and get started, right? That went on for an extended period of time. Next thing you know, Shakim goes live, right? And everybody knows the infamous live of Shakim Ra that made him and I fall out, right? Because I had already felt a lot of the stuff that he was saying. Trust me, I did. I felt a lot of the tension from that. I got it. Like, a lot of things were not coming to fruition. It just wasn't. And I understand, that she was dealing with a real serious situation. I get that. But you got to understand in context that I had told her, well, let's fall back. Let's not even worry about it. We'll go ahead and just, you deal with that. And, at some other point, if we decide to pick it up, we will. We'll go ahead and do it. Her answer always was to me, no, she still wants to do the podcast. She still wants to work with me. We still want to do this. She's just dealing with so much regarding CPS. And so that to me was very understandable. Okay. But the picture I'm kind of getting painted now is, no, I didn't trust this woman. And, I didn't believe in her. And so I, fell back from the podcast. But that's not what Breakin was telling me. Okay, that isn't what she was telling me. She kept telling me exactly what I said. Hey, I just need time. I need to be able to sort this out. I need to get this stuff situated, and then we can go from there. There was never a time where she said, this is too much. I really don't trust this situation. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to have to fall back from you. I never got that conversation from her. As a matter of fact, I made it very clear that if there was an issue like that, tell me. And not one time did she ever say anything like that to me. So a lot of this stuff that's happening right now is literally blindsiding me. Okay. Like, for instance, not receiving my photos, right, from the from the photo shoot that took place in May. Okay. She's telling you guys that she has my photos. And I'm like, wow, why do you still have my photos when I've asked you for those photos since May? And even what you said to me the other day doesn't match up with what you said on your video. Like after the video, when we talked on the phone, because I wanted to know why you're telling the public you have my photos and you never got them to me, your excuse was completely different than what you said on the video, because I had to go back and listen to the video again and hear what your answer was. And again, not one time did I know that you felt concern about me, and that was the reason why you were holding these photos. What you told me was you haven't received them. That's what you told me, right? Either way, doesn't really matter. It's just the point that I think I've done a lot of damage control concerning breaking the culture of silence. I feel like I have protected her reputation on these YouTube streets. And I've also attempted to protect mine from being involved in the void and being involved with this situation to begin with. There was a lot of stuff I did not want to put out there. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's embarrassing to become involved in something that doesn't come to fruition and you have no control over that. That's embarrassing. I don't want to, throw all that out there and give everybody all of that information. This is why I was upset with Shakem. It wasn't because I felt like what he was saying was wrong. In a sense, there was some stuff that was. There was some stuff that was misconstrued. But there was other things he said that was right. And one of them was, nothing is getting done from a podcast that we were approached with, from a business deal that we were approached with. Not I approached her, not I created this situation, but she approached me. And yes, there were other sponsors that allegedly were supposed to get involved in helping us push the podcast out there in the algorithm, out there in the universe. It would have been more than just YouTube. It would have been much bigger, according to her. These are her words. And this is on video, okay? This is where those video conversations came in. This is why we didn't release those videos on Patreon. Because in those videos, it would have showed proof of what Shakem was saying, okay? And that is from the contract situations down to, his involvement in the podcast, down to what she was offering, okay, to both of us. All of that is in these videos. And in releasing those videos, I would have had to explain over and over again, and she would have had to explain over and over again why all this happened. And the truth is, that is how it happened. Shakem received from her some blank contracts. Why he signed them, I can't answer that. But they were blank. They were supposed to be templates. But she had information on those contracts that I wasn't aware of. Wasn't aware that there was addresses and certain other things on there. Because if that was the case, I don't know if I would have even agreed to that. Because there was never any real information that was truly worked out with Shakem. We were never able to talk about or negotiate any type of, payments or anything like that. And the reason why, guys, is because we hadn't even gotten to that space in the podcast yet. You understand what I'm saying? It was almost as if, that part of the conversation was very premature. Like, We really didn't need any contracts and all this stuff. But how this was presented to us was why we allowed such a conversation. Okay. It was presented to us that there were sponsors ready to come in and support the podcast. So we were thinking money was on the table not too far away. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like this is long term. This is in our minds based off of the conversations we were having with one another. Okay. Based off of the conversations we were having with her. And again, this was her idea. For those of you who are trying to spin some weird narrative that this is mine. And it's funny because she would know that it's her idea. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and anybody else would know that too, who actually watches my channel, because they heard me say that I was approached with a deal that could be life-changing. And that was what I was told. But through all of that, that stuff didn't happen. And then Shakim came out with the infamous thing. And I was pretty upset with Shakim. But there is a part that y'all don't know. That night after Shakim went live and Breaking the Culture and I talked, I told her there's a lot of shit he said that was right. We're not recording. We're not filming. Why? Why are we not moving forward? Are you trying to tell me that whatever you feel Let Me See Your Transcript is doing and whatever you feel Daryl Moore is doing is supposed to get in the way of money? It's supposed to get in the way of us moving forward with our brand? It doesn't make sense. So I got where he was coming from. I didn't like how he did it. I didn't like how he went public with it. I felt like he should have said something to me, or he should have said something to her. But what he said was not a lie. He was right. He was just frustrated. And he took it out on the Secktah. And then, D. Darrell didn't help. Shout out to D. Darrell. That situation didn't help. Because Darrell and him were going back and forth, and Darrell was talking his shit, and Shakim was talking his shit, and they was going back and forth with each other. And boom, I did get a text message from Shakim telling me to look at what Darrell's last video was. And when I went to go look, it was like a couple hours later because I was napping. When I got up, that's what I woke up to. And I was shocked. Because even though I got it and I did understand, I think he jumped the gun by telling y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I think we should have talked. And I remember saying, give me a minute, I'll call you. But before I could talk to him, he was already on there. So it happened like that, right? And then my ego, let's keep it real. My ego wanted to do damage control. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't hurting my brand, a brand that I really did believe in, a brand that I really did want to see get off the ground. As I did that, right, is when I started coming across some other people. I started coming across some folks who were telling me that they had been through the very same situations with this very same person. And I was ignoring them because I really did not want to get anybody else's input on things. I'm that kind of person. I got to be able to experience something for myself, right? You can't just be telling me a bunch of stuff, especially if you're cussing at me and just talking shit. I don't hear that. I only hear you talking shit. I don't hear any advice you're giving me. I don't hear none of that. I just hear you talking shit. That's all I see. And I'm going to react to that. So I wasn't listening. when I had some other folks who were yelling at me about this woman. However, I also had some folks privately who also had dealt with this situation with her or something very similar. I don't know if I have any mods in the chat, but can you block Liz Martin, please? You're not welcome here, and I know you're anti-Afro Svengali, so you can get the fuck up out of here, bitch. But anyway, and you don't, you know, again, like I said, I'm going to put a link to the video in my description box so that you guys will be able to see for yourselves what I said and what I did not say. Okay. Because no, I didn't have to tell anybody that that was my idea. There was no reason for me to do that. It was her idea. She definitely approached me with that, and I appreciated that. And I was very excited about what she approached me with. I was very excited about some of the celebrities that she had mentioned to me. I was very excited about, hey, Josephine, I appreciate you, but make sure you keep bitches like Liz Martin and them up out of here. Everybody else is cool, but Liz or anybody that is AAS is not acceptable in my chat. She knows that's who she is. But anyway, yeah, I was very excited about that. Very excited about meeting some of the celebrities that she had mentioned to me. You know, that she could possibly get to sponsor the podcast, and there were even companies that she had mentioned that were looking to possibly sponsor the podcast. But we can't do anything with the podcast and push that in the algorithm or have anyone see our work if we're not producing the work, correct? Right. But anyway, let's go back a bit further, because like I said, once the whole Shakim situation happened, I did jump into damage control, right? As she had. But turns out that there were, like I said, there were people trying to publicly yell and jump down my throat about what I need to do with this lady. And I just wasn't trying to hear it, because like I said, I put a wall up. When somebody's coming for me and just doing all this stuff, you're going to make me come back at you. I'm not hearing anything you're saying. Okay. My friends know that. So they approach me a certain way. This woman, well, there were people, I'll just say that. There were a few people behind the scenes, and not even in this sector, that had come to me in regards to dealing with the very same type of situation, down to the microphones, giving out microphones, offering microphones, because that was one of the first things she offered was equipment to me and Shakim. I even have one of the microphones, right? I did actually take one, but I have my own mics. She wanted to give me one, right? So, okay, I took the microphone. Down to the podcasting, down to the wire, the everything. It was just perhaps the name was different, right? But everything else was the same. From we're going to create this podcast, we got these contracts, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I've got all these grandiose celebrities that want to support. I've got all this money that is pushed behind this podcast. If you would just go with me. There was a few people that tried this with her, and she ended up ghosting that podcast deal as well. I don't know why she does that. I can't answer that question. I can't say why it happens, but I can say I and Shakim are not the only ones that have been through this with this lady. This is not the first time that someone has been offered all kinds of grandiose situations and circumstances regarding a podcast deal. And that podcast deal just does not come to fruition. I don't know why she does that. I don't know why that happens. But it does. It's not the first time, But hopefully it'll be the last. Hopefully nobody else will actually fall for that. I fell for it. Joke's on me. It is what it is. But not one time did I attempt, even though I've known that for a very long time. I've known that for months. Not one time did I try to out her to you guys. I never tried to tell her business to the sector. Because if I spilled a little bit of the beans, then I would have had to spill them all. The only reason I'm willing to talk about it now is because for some reason, in her mind, she's got some type of beef in her mind that's brewing between her and the women in the sector. And I guess the women in the sector would include me. Like I told her the other day, to me, it seems like you are looking for a reason to beef with me. You don't have a reason, but you're looking for a reason. Because even you said, no, you weren't talking shit about me in Alan's chat. You weren't doing any of that. You were just there. Even though you've been there when Rev G has talked about me, when Remix has talked about me, when God knows who else. You've been present. But that doesn't mean that you being present, like my self-esteem is that low that if you're present in a chat, if somebody is talking trash about me, that I'm going to feel some type of way. So it didn't make sense to me that alone would have you in your bag over me. So I started to think about this and meditate on this a little bit and really get some real clear answers because, again, I don't do confusion, right? I don't like a whole lot of confusion, a whole lot of stuff. I need some honesty. I need some understanding of some situations, right? Because in my mind, I'm like, I ain't done nothing to this girl. Like, I've never done anything to this girl. I don't know what her issue is. I don't know, but I really want to understand where this is all coming from. All I can say is that she has been successfully brought to a space where she would believe, like Stargate does, that every single woman in this sector has some type of beef with her and some type of issue with her, and that everybody is out to get her, right? And she's trying to find a way to add me to that too, even though I don't deserve it. I've never done anything to deserve that. But in her mind, because like you said, she speaks with AAS so fucking much, right? Day and night to have us two at odds. She worked day and night for that, literally. And she wanted to get those two ladies on the same page, Stargate and Breaking the Culture, so that she can use those two ladies and continue to use those two ladies to go at the women in the sector who don't want to fight with them. This is the part that you don't understand, Breaking the Culture. None of the women in the sector want to fight back and forth with you. This is something that someone has made up to you. And this is something that you have believed. And you have allowed to fester and fester and fester and fester to the point where you are obsessed with going to other people's channels that you don't even like, combing through their comment sections and combing through their chats to see what's being said about you. I'm going to tell you how I know that. The other day, you said something to me, and when we were having this little back behind the scenes kerfuffle over whether or not I should have chastised a grown man for talking about you, right? You said something that stuck out to me. And what you said was saying to Alan that you 100% support his content is saying that he's right. I'm going to tell you how I know that someone sent you a screenshot of that and tried to make it as if it was on the same video that Alan was talking about you. No, honey. I told Alan I 100% support his content when he was talking about AAS. That was on a completely different video. What she did was splice a portion of that and take a picture of me being in that chat room and put that together to tell you, look what Tpri is doing. She's saying she supports him even though he's talking about you. And you fell for it. That's what happened. Now, I got Alan right here. He's telling you that that's what happened. I don't even know how this dude got back in my chat, but I just blocked him. But anyway, yeah, Alan is telling you that's what happened. I said that on a completely different video. But you trust this woman so much. You believe in everything this woman says. Everything. She was the one that helped destroy this brand. Because that is what happened. Thank you, Alan, for saying that. And yes, this is all interesting, sis. It is. But we're going to talk about it tonight. But yes, that is what happened in that. And that is how I knew, on top of everything else that I knew, that is how I really knew and got full understanding of who was behind the energy of trying to come between me and you. You have a beef with me, and that is your beef behind what you decided to believe and what you decide to take in. To me, that is very toxic for someone to be constantly bombarding me with propaganda to get me and force me to believe what they want me to believe. To the point where I don't even know what's true and what's not anymore. So you know what I do in situations like that? I fall back. I can't deny that there are folks behind the scenes that have told me about you and told me that this is what I would experience with you. In various ways, not necessarily the same exact thing, but pretty damn close. All while I tried to protect the brand and protect your name. I still continue to do that. But I know what I know now. And the only thing I can tell you is, as I've told you in the past, and I'll tell you again, it's up to you what you decide to believe and what you decide to do with stuff once you get information on it, right? It's up to you how you handle it. Nobody can tell you how to handle it, or nobody can tell you what to say or how to feel, right? But at least educate yourself fully on a situation. That includes me. before you jump off onto something or before you get into something. Because, sweetie, if you only knew, I have not had to make this up. I've never had to lie and tell you some shit that wasn't true. If you only knew the energy that has been particularly placed in making sure that you feel a certain type of way towards every woman in this sector. You. If only you knew. You could save yourself. But again, I can't make you see facts. I can't make you see the truth. I can only let you know what's really going on. And before you go jumping off a cliff for this crazy bitch, let me try to help you. That's what I've tried to do. But again, if you want to have this beef and find a reason to be beefing, that's on you. But like Nikki said, that's going to be a one-sided beef. That's going to be you running around beefing with Tpri while Tpri sleeps very well, while Tpri gets her bread. You understand what I'm saying? While Tpri don't give a fuck. That's going to be on you. But this is the facts of what has actually happened, what I said, versus what I haven't said, what I've done versus what I haven't done. And it's up to you to educate yourself on facts before you're out here jumping out the window, running down and running up on bitches like you really a gangster. Because it's not that motherfucking serious. Ain't nobody out to get you, just like ain't nobody out to get Stargate. But people like AAS like to play mind games like that with people. They like to make you think everybody hates you and everybody's against you. She will even go as far as going out and recruiting people off Twitter to bring them up here to talk shit about people on here. And people have tried to tell you this behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, kindly, rudely. I get not the rudeless, because neither one of us wanted to accept that. Neither one of us wanted to hear that bullshit, right? But the bottom line is, everybody can't be lying about the same thing. If people are over and over and constantly showing you and telling you what's up with these people, and you know, whether you admit it publicly or not, you know what's up. I know you do, for a fact, based off the conversations we've had. But at the end of the day, like I said, if there is some beef that you want to have, that you are itching to find, that you just got to have, baby, you on your own with that, Breaking. You are more than welcome to beef on your own with me. I don't have to beef with you. You don't have anything I want. You don't have anything I need or anything I want. So I don't have to beef with you. I don't have to go back and forth with you. I didn't lose nothing in this matter. I still got my shit. I still have my branding. I still got people that follow, that support. People are always going to have my back. So it doesn't really matter. I didn't lose anything in this situation. So if you're beefing by yourself. I'm just letting you know. I've unsubscribed. I'm not watching. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're saying. And at this point and from this point forward, I am not going to care. But just know, Breaking, that I am not the only person out here in these YouTube streets and other streets that can back up this very same story and that will say the very same thing. They have been through the very same things with you. And then when you don't follow through with your side of the deal, you come up with all these victim narratives on why you didn't. Every single time. Multiple times. In multiple spaces. Maybe one day I'll have them on to interview them for everybody. We'll see. But either way, we all know that's facts. Or, at least some of us know. But for those who don't, maybe I will. Maybe I will go ahead and invite them up. Depends on how this goes. If I got to continue to go back and forth and continue to get this and debunk that lie and debunk this, if I got to go through all that, I might do that. Because I'm only going to take but so much. But I suggest that you just fall back. Do you? It's really not that serious. There is room out here in these YouTube streets for everybody. But you can't find nothing else to talk about but the women of the sector? There's nothing else you have? There's nothing you have to offer? But talking about Nikki and talking about Carrie and talking about me and talking about the women of the sector? There's got to be something else you can talk about, ma'am. Or maybe not. I don't know. But either way, stand on your own 2 feet and do your own thing. You can stay in your own lane and do your own thing. You don't have to jump in anybody's lane to be popular. And stop trying to please these degenerate ass incel-like niggas in the sector that want to see women fighting back and forth. They literally get their kicks and rocks off from seeing women fighting back and forth. Why would any woman in her right mind be comfortable with appeasing such bullshit? Me, I'm not. I don't owe these niggas that. I don't give a fuck what they want. You know how many niggas wanted me to put you on Front Street months ago? I wasn't doing that. And I'm still not going to put all your business out there. But at the end of the day, if you remember that if you're beefing, your beef is one-sided. Because I ain't got no beef with you. I don't go to bed thinking about you. I don't get up thinking about you. I'm not concerned about what you're doing. You have no impact on my life whatsoever. No impact on my branding. No impact on my businesses. No impact on nothing. So who cares? Right? That's the same attitude you should have about all these women in the sector. But just to let you know, your friend, Anti, she saw a weakness in you that she latched onto because she knew she could. You need to understand that. She did the same thing with Stargate. She latched on to a weakness, a feeling of, and I can't really say, I don't know, I'm not in your head, but what I get from what you say is a feeling of questioning your own self-esteem, wondering what, always looking for someone to validate. And this is why you are feeling some type of way if somebody's in somebody's chat room or that's talking about you. This shit is ridiculous to somebody like myself who doesn't give a fuck what people think. Shit like that is absolutely ridiculous. Prime example, as I've given before, Dr. Nikki and I, very good friends. We don't agree on everything, but we are very good. We're very cool. She can be in anybody's chat she wants to. She could go to anybody's chat she wanted to. Laugh and joke, even laugh at the jokes about me. It wouldn't matter because that's still my dog. It doesn't matter. Stuff like that is childish to me. Stuff like that is something I can't fathom, that kind of shit. So again, I'm going to need you to chill. If you got some kind of beef with Tpri, it is one-sided. Because I haven't done a motherfucking thing to you. I'm not out here talking about you. I'm not out here making shit up about you. And everything I said tonight is 100% facts. And the only reason that I'm even doing this is because I am going to debunk the lies. I'm going to debunk the rumors and the bullshit. And the somebody is doing something to you. Because ain't nobody doing nothing to you. This is exactly what has happened. This is exactly how this played out. And I would love for you to show it was something different. I would absolutely love for you to show that something different happened. Something different from my experience to the several other people who have experienced this with you. You show it. Since everybody's lying and since everybody's not your friend. And everybody's out to get you. Other than that, I don't really got nothing else to say until it'll be necessary for me to. If it'll ever be necessary for me to. So let me go ahead and get into the comments real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and end the show. I think I got over these. Hey, Pixie and LB, my opinion. What you going to do about it? You said peace to the chat. You said hey to Alan. Hey, keeping it plain. You said Tpri, hello in chat. Alan, salute, sir. Money to Burn says, regarding the cam up in New York, y'all was way too happy. You know the sector frowns upon that. Yeah, unfortunately. And I don't think it's all the sector. I think it was just, the players, the key players behind that situation. You said, hey, to Money to Burn. You said, salute, keeping it plain. Uncle up in here. And you said, hello to Keeping It Plain, Pixie and Alan, Money to Burn. And you said, hey, Muslim, I appreciate you. You said, hey, Black Lounge Divine. And you said, I got the photos. They fire. You know what? Did you? And then you said, ouch. You said, hey. You said, hey. You said, hey to Alan and the DBA in the chat in the house. You said, hey, Crafted Legacy. You said, tracking device in my car. You said, glad y'all didn't got out before her scam really blossomed. I don't know if it was a scam or not. You know what I mean? I can't call her a scammer because I wasn't scammed. She didn't take any money from me. She didn't even ask me for any money, right? But it does seem strange that I am not the only person who she's got this whole podcast idea going with, and nothing ever came from it. You know what I mean? Like nothing came out of it. And then in the end, she's like telling everybody that she was victimized by the person. You know what I mean? Like this happened a couple of times. It's not just with Knockout Media and whatever. There's a couple of other people too. Like y'all really don't know. And it's funny because she was like really trying her hardest to get me not to talk to these people, you know? Like little did she know I'm being hit up in the background. Like, yeah, it's real. And I can't say it was a scam or not. I don't know what it was. I think she just has grandiose ideas. I do. I think that she has, she really does want to do these things. I just think that whatever goes on in her life doesn't allow her for it to come to fruition, and other people are affected by that when she's asking other people to be involved. But yeah, so I can't say it was a scam because I don't know. but I know that it didn't come through. And it was her idea, y'all. Her idea, not mine. Let me make that clear. I don't give a fuck what AAS is trying to say or what anybody else is saying. No. It was her. You said, oh yeah, I heard that. You said anti-work day and night to have us two at odds, and she's still doing it. It's crazy. And she falling for it. 49 viewers, 17 likes. I got 62 in the house right now. Y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe and share, and also make sure that you hit the notification bell. You said, how does she get into the sector? So there's a couple of rumors about that. The first one that I thought was the case was Darrell was going over to the church sector because he had been mentioning this for a while in the sector about let me see your transcript before he became kind of cool with her again. He had mentioned that, she was being sued over in the church sector, right? And all of us kind of heard that story, but we weren't really fully aware of everything. And then came the story. It just all came over at one time on us. It was Conscious TV coming over, Breaking the Culture coming over, Daryl Moore, and all of them were all kind of coming over here and telling their sides of the story, right? We were all hearing both sides of the story. So that's kind of where I thought she came in. Other people say that AAS brought her into the sector to come at let me see your transcript. Either way, it could be either one. It looks like one of the two. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what the real reason was, but she told me that she had been listening to me for a while. This was her words to me. And it's like I said, it's almost mirror to what these other folks were saying she said too. She had been listening to me for a while. She really liked my content. She really enjoyed as a matter of fact, she said this publicly on even some of our videos. She said some of this stuff. So it's not like I'm making this shit up. Okay. Like this is her words. All right. And yeah, so that was kind of how she approached me, and that's how we got this podcast. We were supposed to get this podcast started. But like I said, it was just a bunch of bullshit that was happening in the background. And naturally so, like I told her, if CPS was coming to my house or, if I was getting strange packages at my house, which by the way, y'all, I didn't know about the strange packages coming to her house until like a couple weeks ago. Okay. Because I finally confronted her about my aunt's address showing up on Me and Mine's channel. Right. I finally said to her, yo, Me and Mine's got my, showing up on her channel. Okay. So I wanted to know how Me and Mine's got that address. I know now how she got it, but it looked like Breaking the Culture had given that information away. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not even my address. It's not like the post office has that address for me. You understand what I'm saying? I specifically gave her that address. And I did not even give her my home address. I didn't give her either one of my home addresses. I gave her an address that a lot of family members give out if we want to give that address out, to someone, to protect our own personal home address or something. I gave her that. Next thing I know, Me and Mine's is showing it on her channel, right? So took me a while, but I did finally confront her about that a couple weeks ago. And that's when she threw this red herring of packages coming to her house out. Okay. And I'm like, I never even knew about these packages. I knew about CPS. I knew about all of that. But I'm talking about this is from May until today, like December, right? This is May to December. None of them times, not during any time during that time did she mention anything about strange packages coming to her door until literally a couple weeks ago when I told her I thought she gave AAS and them that address. And she was trying to tell me she didn't. Okay. So, and she's still sticking to that. And I can only go by her word, right? I mean, it didn't affect me per se. So I can only go by her word, right? But I know nobody else in the sector ever got that address from me. I know nobody else in the sector ever got that information from me. So, and it's not even a postal address for me. Because if it was, don't y'all think I would have had Me and Mine's channel removed? I would have had that video taken. I'm a YouTube content creator, okay? YouTube knows exactly what my address is. They know exactly everything about me. So, well, everything that I need in order to get paid, okay? So, if that was really my address, I would have been able to strike her channel and have that shit removed. But that's not my address. That's not my address. So, so like I said, even the post office doesn't have that address for me. So how would me and mines be pulling up some quote unquote report with that address? That address. And that ain't even my address. That had to be something somebody gave her, somebody put together, right? Somebody made appear a certain way. That is why I thought she gave my address out, or she gave that address out. But she says she didn't, right? I ain't gonna go back and forth with nobody and argue and fight and fuss and all this other shit. If you say you didn't, you didn't. It's gonna come back to you if you did. You understand? It's gonna fuck you over in the universe if you did. Not me. So it don't matter. I moved on. But now we're at this space where now it's the, almost like I got to get ahead of the game kind of situation. I guess because I had told Shakim publicly that I wanted to move on and we need to talk. And there were some things you said that were correct. In me saying that, this woman got really worked up. She got in her bag and she thought that, hey, now, she got to do some quote unquote damage control when there was nothing to control. So like I said, if you're beefing by yourself. Because like I said, I'm not mad at you about anything. I don't feel no type of way. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I don't have no problems. I've been joking a shout into the void and that name with breaking the culture. Me and her had a running joke about that name and how long it is and how many other shits we used to say with a shout into the void. We would say a shout into all kinds of motherfucking shit. So for those of you who think that Tpri is running around making fun of that brand, that's not the case. That's something Breaking the Culture and I have been doing since we started the brand. So you can stop with those rumors too. And these are things she knows. But you can't convince her otherwise. But either way, that's all I really got to say for now about this. There probably will be some other shit that'll come up at some point. I might remember to say some other things later. But like I said, I'm not thinking about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. But when something is brought to my attention, I can't help but talk about it. And like I said, I'm just going to put that shit on Front Street. I don't know why she approaches people with these ideas and it doesn't go through. I can't answer that. All I can tell you is I'm not the only one. All I can tell you is that this has happened multiple times in multiple spaces and multiple people know about her. That's all I can tell you. I've got people coming over from the church sector that watch in the clouds and they be hitting me in the background like, good luck, hitting me in the background, telling me God knows what I'm going to deal with. And these are not people that are on the A team, by the way. I've got all kinds of folks that have come at me over this. So I don't know if you're trying to rewrite your whole self in the sector, and trying to use me and Shakim at that expense and Nikki and everybody else to that expense. But there is a plethora of folks out there that don't mind speaking the facts about what they know in regards to you and how you handle things. And they are itching for a moment to talk about it. And I don't want to give them that. But I'm going to need you to fall back and stop acting like you have some reason to have some beef with me, because you don't. You can have one if you want one, but you don't have a reason. And I just had to say that. He said, wow. And again, Alan, I appreciate you 100 on that, because that was facts. That was what she told me, that, saying that you 100% support Alan's content is saying he's right. I said that on a completely different video than you putting her on them scales. That's how I know AAS was sending her some fuck shit. And she's always falling for whatever this bitch says. Like, it don't matter what she say. She just gonna go with it. It's crazy. You said, hey, Tpri and chat. I appreciate you, Glow, being in the building. You said, wow, that's sick. You said, this is all interesting. I think I read that already. You said, exactly. You said, it's interesting. Anti brought you here, and this has transpired since. Right. That is interesting. That's the part. And I think that's the part that she really does not understand. I don't know if she'll ever understand it. I think that she really just thinks that AAS is her best friend, and AAS has her back, and she has good reason to have her here. AAS never has any good reason to become friendly with anyone. And I've told her that. It's up to her to learn it. Like, that's just that. But yeah, you said, that's crazy. From my observations, the woman actually accepted of the strength of, was accepted on the strength of you. Exactly. And that's facts. That is 100% facts. Like, if she only knew. You said, Black Lounge Divine, but Breaking the Culture did give you a phone call after that. After what? If you can verify, I don't know what you're talking about right there. I apologize. Shout out to you, Alan, for the $20 super chat. You said, truth equals that which is. Exactly. Exactly. You said, I'm going to catch the replay. I missed the beginning. Have a good live. Thank you, ma'am. You said, hey, Breaking the Culture. Mikey's in the clouds. I appreciate you. As you said, the women actually gave her a chance simply because of you, and you actually were real, and I never heard you talk bad about her. Exactly. Like, I've never had to talk bad about Breaking the Culture of silence, okay? But there are motherfuckers working day and night with all type of propaganda, putting all type, splicing videos, splicing chats and all kinds of shit, and showing her, look what Tpri doing. Look what Tpri doing. Look, she doing, and she just falling for it all. Like, she just falling for it all. It's like she just has to have all of us women on one boat, and I got to be on that boat too. So, okay, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to dislike a bitch, that's fine. I'm not going to lose no sleep over that shit. But watch yourself. You said, facts. I'm here to get my pimping on. You said, facts, eyes. Yep. What's up, Shakim? I appreciate you. Hey, Dr. Nikki, I appreciate you being in the building too. Alan says, hey to Eyes and Dr. Nikki. I says, SMH Joe. You said, Joe, SMH. I don't think the women have time to beef with her respectfully, in my opinion. Exactly. Like, I don't think she understands that. Like, and if she really could take a second and go back in the history of the sector, especially in the past, like, year and a half, where Stargate has been doing this very same thing, you know what I mean? And see, what she doesn't understand is the folks in the sector are kind of tired of hearing this same fucking story from Stargate, right? From the men to the women. Even the men are like, listen, they're kicking her off the panel. They're not letting her on the panel. They're not letting her take over the panels anymore. And so, AAS needed a new fresh batch of, somebody else to kind of take that on. And so here she is. She done built herself a new Stargate. And now we got another woman in the sector that is forever victimized by everybody. You said Alan and Eyes, what's happening? Yeah, everybody saying hey to Rob. You said hey to Shakim. You said facts, Eyes. My bank account told me the same thing. You said hey to MPW. You said, Miss Tpri, I got to run, sis. I only have 4 minutes. I'll catch the replay. Okay. Love you, Joe. Peace, peace, peace. Love you, Glow. And you said she is crazy if she thinks I'm going to track her down for a conversation. I'm not her damn groupie. Okay. Ain't nobody getting ready to go over to these degenerate chat rooms and have no conversation with nobody. Like, ain't nobody doing that shit. Nobody cares for real. At the end of the day, if you want to talk, we can talk like women, but we're not about to be doing all this other extra bullshit. And I got to be creeping around people chats and all that stuff. And I'm scared somebody going to take a picture of me and that. Girl, please. I don't even want a friendship like that. That's so taxing. You said sleeping with the enemy, not literally, but I'd stay far away from them folks, for real, for real. Okay? But when you try to tell her, she thinks somebody's out to get her. Like, I don't know. I guess you tried to tell her, she just don't believe it. She really don't. She really think everybody's out to get AAS for some reason. You said, LOL, Joe, it's too many smart women here from what I see. It's too many things to do. Okay, like niggas got shit to do. I'm actually getting money and actually, running these businesses and stuff. Anybody got time to be beefing with no bitches online? Like, especially over stupid shit, like really stupid stuff. Like you were in their chat room. Like, so what? Like, this is stupid. Like, this is really, really stupid stuff. You said Pixie Eyes, Alan, and Joe. You said Hayda Shakim and Muslim. You said, Nikki, I don't know what happened with you either. I don't know what happened with her either. I don't know what the beef is other than the propaganda from AAS. AAS is very good at pushing propaganda on people. And look at her channel. Look at all she's trying to get people to believe about let me see your transcript. She's been trying to get people to believe that for almost over a year now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not, it's falling on deaf ears. It's to the point where some of the old subscribers of AAS, and shout out to, I ain't gonna say no names, but shout out to people who send me screenshots and stuff like this, right? But it's even to the point where people who used to support AAS will try to comment on those videos and be like, what are you doing? Why are you still doing this? Why are you talking about all these people that have nothing to do with Umar? I thought we were talking about Umar. And she'll erase their comments. Okay, just to try to, like, she'll block all their comments and block and erase. Y'all know AAS does that to try to keep it, try to keep the propaganda going. You can't leave messages on there. You can't, it can't be an open dialogue because she tries to keep propaganda going. She does like the JWs do with the bite model thing, which, by the way, guys, I am going to do a full presentation on the bite model. So you guys know exactly how that is, and you guys can compare this kind of stuff to that. But she does. She uses that. She uses behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. She will literally control your behavior, control, give you propaganda so that you move a certain way, so that you're even concerned or even have caution about being in somebody's chat room or being somewhere, in the presence of someone else, right? And then she uses information. So she takes these emails and she opens up secret YouTube channels, and you feel like you're special. You feel like you're getting that special treatment. You're getting that specialized information, and she does stuff like that. And so she puts what she wants you to see in those emails. She puts what she wants you to see in those videos. Okay. And then she uses thought control. She got you thinking everybody's against you. So she splices videos and splices chats, and she puts that together and makes you think a totally different situation. She'll make you think this is what happened, when in actuality, that ain't what happened. But she wants you to think that. So she will give you certain information, okay? And that will control your thoughts, which also control your emotions, okay? Because now you're worked up, you're upset, you're in your bag, you're ready to go off on everybody because of all this information overload that you're receiving all the time about everybody else. And you're never getting anything else, because if you go over there, as she would say, these are the demon panels. These are the people that are out to hurt you. These are the people that want to hurt you. These are the people that are out to get you. Don't do that. Don't go over there. Even if Even it was crazy. I was in Photon's chat the other day, going back and forth with me and mine's bitch ass, and a couple other people was hopping up in there, and we was just going back and forth. And AAS supposedly has me blocked, right? Most of us are probably allegedly blocked by AAS. Child, tell me why AAS was jumping in the chat. Like I could see her in the chat. That's how I wasn't blocked all of a sudden, right? In the chat, telling breaking the culture was standing up for me in the chat, telling me and mine how wrong she is for posting photos of my grandpop and talking shit about sex abuse and all that stuff. And AAS jumps in the chat and was like, no, don't believe her breaking the culture. You don't believe whatever she's saying. Tpri is a liar. Tpri, and it's like, AAS, she can think for herself. She doesn't need you to manipulate her into what she needs to think and what she needs to feel. And she just ignored that and was just doing the same thing. The same shit she does with Rev G, right? Like if Rev G gets on a panel, no, Rev G, get off that panel. Don't talk to these demons. Don't talk to these people. And it's like, you cannot control other people, but some of you allow her to, such as you, breaking the culture. A lot of times you you this woman to control what you think, what you feel, how you move, and what you do. You literally do. And it shows in every move you make, especially the people that are seasoned in this sector. People that have been around and have watched AAS move like that. People who have also been under that same spell, okay? People who have also dealt with her firsthand. They can see. It ain't nothing I'm making up. It ain't nothing I got to make up. It's very obvious to the people. So, yeah, I think that's what happened. I think she just feels some type of way at Nikki because AAS feels some type of way at Nikki. Like literally. Anybody AAS don't like, breaking the culture don't like. Like that's the crazy part about it. Like y'all can see for yourself. It ain't hard to see. You said, hey, beautiful Dr. Nikki, Proctor Walden, Glow Eyes Nation, Josephine, and Pixie. You said Miss LB and Kip. You said hi to Muslim. You said Eyes, what do you mean? Okay. Yeah, I think that's what she was talking about is how, Breaking is like suddenly beefing with you all the time. I mean, just all the time. Like, and then acting like she's the victim. It's crazy because you wasn't talking about her yesterday. She brought you up. And then in her bringing you up, you came back for her. And now today, all of a sudden, oh, you're not going to keep picking on me. You're not going to keep, like, it's like, what do you mean? Like, you were just talking about her. You can talk about her, but if she talks about you, now she's picking and bullying you. Like, stop it. Girl, you looking for beef with these women. You said I start shit with women she feel will go back and forth with her. Right. You said, Nikki, what happened with you and Breaking? I'm late. Nothing. And that's the crazy part about it. You said, hello, how are you? You said, I'm sorry things didn't work out. Hell, I was excited, low-key jealous myself. I'm sorry it didn't work out too. I really did have plans for the Void. I had a lot of big plans for that. I would have loved for that to go in a great direction. And I even talked about that with some other ladies. And it didn't work out that way. But we're still working on this end. We still doing our thing over here. It's just not going to be with the Void, And since she came up with the name and she came up with the idea and brought it to me, that's her shit. That's not my shit, right? I don't have any ties to that. I don't have anything with that. If she rebranded and put someone else in the podcast, hopefully this time she would actually follow through with it. But, if she did that, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have a dog in that fight. And I wouldn't want to, So you guys need to know that for those of you who are out here creating rumors and trying to create more beef and trying to just beat down the door for attention for tension between me and her. Yeah, you're hearing it from me. That is her brand. That is her thing. And she can do whatever the hell she wants with it. I don't have nothing to do with it. You said, hey to LB. You said, oh, okay, Joe. You said, she's starting a fake beef. Yep. It's just all this beef for nothing. And it's for no reason. I can say that, there was a time when I had heard that she was getting paid by AAS to do stuff. And I was like, no, she's not. I don't know about that. I don't think she is. And then come to find out, she was. She had admitted it on a show one day, just being mad at Knockout Media, going back and forth with him. She accidentally admitted that she was getting paid by AAS. So I guess that's why she's beefing with Nikki, is because she's getting paid enough to beef with Nikki. But she don't have no reason to. And like Nikki said, her beef is one-sided. You said, oh, okay, that's wild, Nikki. And you said Muslim. You said, hey, the Muslim. You said, hello, Muslim. And you said, beef is what Jay told Nas. Right. You said, break in, hit the link. Nope, I'm not dropping the link. I ain't going back and forth with that bullshit. She can say whatever she want on her channel, and y'all can go ahead and listen to it. You said, hey, Pixie Long Job, what language was that the other day? You said, hello to my favorite doctor, Dr. Nikki, my favorite doctor. You said, beef is not what Jay said to Nas. Beef is when working niggas can't find jobs, so they trying to find niggas to rob. Word. You said Muslim, Hebrew, X. You said, oop. You said, can you say it again? I don't know what I said. I'm sorry. You said, it's the holidays and people are triggered. Yeah, that's true. Around the holidays, people become really triggered and just overly upset about things, because you start thinking about stuff that you could have had, or things, family members that are gone and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see that happening. But don't take that shit out on me. That's all it is, right? And Craft Legacy. And you said, Marie, you said the Secktah done picked the holidays and chose violence. Okay. Straight degenerates. Oh, well, you do have another podcast. Remember, you told me when before we even started our podcast, there's this, I know there's people that are running around saying that you dropped me and started a new podcast with your boyfriend. But in actuality, you've had that podcast before you even met me, because I remember you telling me that you and him had a podcast, and it was about you guys being him being older than you, and the dynamics in y'all's relationship, which I thought was so cute. And that is what you guys' podcast is about. So she's had that podcast for a while. Y'all make sure y'all check her out. I believe she's on Spotify, Apple, all of that shit. Go check her out, because the two of them together are pretty funny and they're pretty cool. And they've been around for well over a couple years. So yeah, that's not a new podcast she has. So I don't know what you're talking about with that question. But like I said, I think if you started another podcast, or if you started the podcast back up, that would be fine, because it's yours. It's your brand. It's not mine. Even though we were trying to build that brand together. The logo is mine, but the podcast is yours. He said, facts, Alan. He said, can you clear up the statement that the photo shoot was never promised to me? Because she claimed it rained, but y'all still did a whole photo shoot. So what happened with the photo shoot, as I said as I said to you privately, I'll say this again. What happened with the photo shoot was actually factual. Okay. She did have a Airbnb in Tribeca that you could have stayed at, but we needed to have travel plans in place for you in order for you to get the Airbnb, because Danny wasn't letting us take the Airbnb off the market without having those travel plans, right? So when we didn't have the travel plans in time, unfortunately, we couldn't keep the photographer for you for that slot, because we really didn't think you were coming, to be honest, okay? Once that all happened, and we didn't get the travel plans till the day you were coming. It was either the day of or the night before or something like that. I don't quite remember now, but it was something like that. We had already had the photographer booked by that point. So the photographer was only booked for two of us. But if we were going to be outside, we could have we could have squeezed you into that photo shoot. Okay. But it was raining terribly that day. I think you remember that. It was raining ridiculously. It was really bad. So we didn't go anywhere for that photo shoot because the intentions were for us to shoot down uptown. We were supposed to shoot, I'm sorry, downtown. I'm sorry, I'm speaking New York language right now. We were supposed to shoot up in the Manhattan area. Okay. We were supposed to be up there. We were supposed to be running around the city with lattes and all that stuff and just, doing New York shit. And we were going to do that photo shoot like that. But because it was raining so bad, we did stay at her apartment. We stayed at her house in her building. And she didn't want to invite you to her building. It's understandable. She's a woman. I'm a woman. I can understand that. Okay. That she didn't want to invite you to her actual residence, right? It's understandable. Not because it's, she really thought you would do something to her per se. It's just that's basic safety for women, right? That is basic safety. That's why she doesn't have my address. Okay. Because it's just basic safety. It's just stuff you don't do. So that was really the reason why you didn't get her address. That's the reason why you didn't get in the photo shoot is because of that. So yeah, that she wasn't necessarily lying about that. But as far as it being promised to you, it was promised to you if we could have the proper plans, right? But it wasn't promised after we didn't have the proper plans. But if you had, if it was like a sunny day, right? Say that was like a really great day, even if it wasn't sunny, but it wasn't raining outside, you would have still been in the photo shoot because we would have went outside, right? And then you would have been able to get in. He would have worked that out. But literally, we couldn't tell that man that he had to do something, number one. And number two, we couldn't, she didn't want to bring you to her residence. And I really do get that. I can understand why she wouldn't do that. But that's what did happen. Putting the fake LLC on contracts feels scammy. I understand that, and I agree. I think that there was some, and I have to talk about that because that is true. There was some stuff when it came to the business as well, right? For instance, I'll give you guys an example. We talked about, she was telling me how the Instagram was starting to make some money. And, how are we going to set it up where we are getting the money and splitting it between the two of us? And I said, well, we'd have to get this business LLC going in order for us to open up a business account. Well, she was trying to tell me that we could open up a business account without a business. And I'm like, babe, I work at a bank. I've been in the bank for 20 years. I'm letting you know, you cannot open up a business account without a business. Okay. That would include if you had like a sole proprietorship or anything like that. If you want a business account, you have to have an actual registered business. And she tried to argue with me about that. And I'm like, no, like, I know what I'm talking about, and it was stuff like that also that, again, this is stuff that happened over periods of time. So it was stuff like that also that really caused some rifts between us and made me question her on, a lot of this stuff because I think she just thought I didn't know better. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's talk about those contracts and let's talk about the LLC. That was supposed to take place. We were supposed to get the LLC started. But again, these are conversations and situations that she was supposed to initiate. She is the one that had the attorney friend, and the attorney friend was supposed to be sitting down with us and writing up this stuff. And she wasn't setting up those appointments. It got to the point where, and I'm not going to shout out the names, but there are people in the sector that are very aware of that. And I had them send information through attorneys, okay, so that I can get that information back. And then I know exactly what's what. So I've had stuff sent out and looked at by external attorneys that were not connected to break-in. I actually let her know that, and she didn't seem too happy about the fact that I did that. But yeah, I wanted to get, legal advice on stuff. And it just wasn't coming through with her alleged attorney friend, right? Um, Now, the attorney friend does have an office in that at that address, from what I was told, from what I understand. I've never met her. I don't know for sure, but from what I understand, the attorney does have an address at that location. However, that might not be true. Maybe it's really not true. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just something I trusted her with and I really believed. You know what I mean? But as far as the LLC and the contract thing, I think I covered the contract thing a little bit earlier in the video. But the contracts were not, they were like shell contracts. They were templates. Okay. I don't know why you know, she had some additional stuff on there because my address wasn't on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have had my real address on there if that was the case. And I didn't. Because there was nothing to be contracting about as of yet. We weren't making any real money. You know what I mean? I hadn't met any of these sponsors that were supposed to be coming in. I can give y'all some names. One of them was Life Jennings that she told me about. Remember that, Shakim? She told us about Life Jennings. She told us about what was there was a comedian, a female comedian. She told me about her. She told me about Andrew Caldwell. There was so many, like Larry Reed. There was so many celebrity people that she was saying wanted to get behind this podcast that, you know, of course I believe, you know, that this would be life-changing if in the event it actually went that way. But it didn't. And, you know, and that is facts. And yeah, I could see why, you know, that would feel very scammy. But again, that was me and you have never had the chance to talk about it because we ended up falling out publicly. And, you know, now we understand that about, you know, what really happened. But, you know, we're going to clear all this stuff, you know, publicly because, yeah, that's what really happened. You said she said that same shit to official Kingpin. And you said that type of paranoia is very familiar in this sector. Okay? Very. You said, so if y'all ain't lost no money, don't burn bridges. Keep pushing. Y'all are onto something regarding a show together, whether it be a podcast or a regularly scheduled TV show on YouTube. But see, that's the thing. That's not, I don't know if that was really her intentions. You know what I'm saying? Because literally nothing came to fruition. Now, I can't say that she was out to scam me or she was out to get me in some kind of way, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is nothing came to fruition. And I know that multiple people in multiple spaces have been through this very almost identical same thing with her, down to let's start a podcast, to I've got these microphones for you, to all kinds of stuff. There's so many things like that are so familiar to other folks that's why they were reaching out to me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. And then you said, oh, hold on. You said something. You said, who are the other folks that I had a podcast with or tied to have a podcast with? Can you tell us? Absolutely. I'll just bring them on the show and then they can tell us. You said, y'all tripping. You said, I'll check back tomorrow. You keep saying you'll check back tomorrow, but I don't know. You keep coming back. I don't know. But you know who you were dealing with, and you know who you've asked me not to talk to behind the scenes. So, I mean, let's go there, baby. You said breaking the culture of silence. Do you have Tpri's cell phone number? She sure does. She sure does. You said Muslim. Of course, they have each other's number. You said breaking the culture. If so, give her a call. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've asked her to do that the other day. She did. She called me the other day to explain why she still had those photos. And she had a different story than what she said on the video. I actually had to go back and listen to make sure it wasn't my lying ears. And sure enough, what she said was not the same. She said she claimed she was talking about Shakim and his part of the photo shoot. And I'm like, no, you said you never gave my photos to me because you were afraid of what was happening to you behind the scenes. That is what you told the public But what you told me is you never got the photos. That's what you told me. And you're still saying that now to me. I guess you don't want me to have them. I don't even need them now. I don't even care. You said, hey, we unlock. I appreciate you. And make a change. I appreciate you as well. What's up, Slater Show? I appreciate you being in the building. You said, salute to Corey. What's happening, Antonio Barnes? I appreciate you as well. You said, salute to Tpri in the chat. And you said, salute to Antonio. Mikey, I appreciate you. You said, Happy New Year, everybody. Okay. Salute, Mikey. I appreciate you. You said, hey to Alan. And you said, I'm okay. You said, she refers to everyone she doesn't agree with as a demon, the same way JWs refer to apostates. That's facts. AAS uses those. She uses a lot of terms that the Jehovah's Witnesses use. A lot of those terms come from her. Hold on a second, guys. All right, my bad, guys. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. So let me read this again. You said she refers to everyone she doesn't agree with as a demon, the same way JWs refer to apostates, right? They actually do that. They and she uses a lot of terms that they use, and she uses a lot of their tactics. Like it's crazy. It's nuts to see that, especially somebody who's been in the organization before, and you can see, how exactly the grip that they have on people and the grip that she has on people is almost identical to cults and the JWs just alone. You said, make a change. Don't do me any eyes. Anywho, I got timed out. Next caller. Who timed you out? I'm sorry you got timed out. I hope y'all got rid of this thing right here. Okay, I got rid of that. Oh, you said Nikki timed her out. Okay, I'm not sure why she got timed out, but I don't have a problem with what this person is saying. So if you guys cannot time people out unless there's really a good reason. You said Tpri in chat. Hey, Karma52, I appreciate you. You said, well, Andrea Michelle Stewart's occupational specializations doesn't match up to Dr. Nikki's at all. She feels inadequate, and it's a granted she is inadequate as an individual and a therapist. Yes. I also wanted to talk a little bit about that too, because clearly we did have the wrong person, but I want to put some perspective on that as well. Okay, that lead going to the DA's office has been a lead that's been around for a long time. But every time we go around this loop, and anyone else, there's several people in the sector who have been around this loop, including Antonio Barnes and some others, who always end up back at the same place, right? And so that same thing happened to me. Same thing happened to Darrell. Same thing happened to Shakim. All of us, we've all been back now to the same place. We know where she is. We know exactly where she is. As a matter of fact, a couple of us were able to identify her voicemail at work. Okay, so her voice, the way we hear it on YouTube, is on her voicemail at her job. Okay, it's funny because I started to play the voicemail for y'all, but I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to handle anti-Afro the way we need to handle anti-Afro. She can keep talking shit to the sector, keep trying to cause all this division and all these problems, but we will definitely handle her, and she knows her time is short. And it's funny because the people who you guys or these AAS supporters are looking to come after people who have posted these photos, they are well aware of people investigating this matter. They have already been contacted multiple times. And guess what? They want to help with this situation, because they know what's going on. Like they've heard about this. This is not new. These photos of these women, this is not the first time these photos have been posted on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, all kinds of places. These ladies are very aware of what's happening, and they're very cooperative, just to let y'all know. So nobody's looking to sue anybody, and nobody sent that woman no money. Nobody contacted that woman. So AAS is lying to y'all about paying somebody $1,000 for finding that lady. That is a motherfucking lie. Motherfucking lie. She has not been in touch with them at all because she don't want them to know anything about her. Trust me. She think they don't know, but they actually do. They pointed us in the right direction. So shout out to the Ventura County DA's office. You said this is on fire. Smash that like, y'all. Shout out to Alan. I appreciate that. You said blocking people you have a personal beef with is not a good way to use your wrench. 100. All right. So I know that that's a question, and I actually agree with that. I really don't want people blocked in the chat or people being timed out in the chat. I don't, unless they're really being disrespectful. And I appreciate my moderators, all of my moderators, for doing that. You said Truth Antonio. You said 100. You said Shakim Ross, salute. Hey, Conscious Energy, I appreciate you. Peace and love, peace and love. This is Conscious Energy speaking to you with the spectacular vernacular and doing it all legal so I can fly like an eagle. But shout out to you, Conscious Energy. You said, can we all just get along? Ain't we tired of fighting with each other? We can just have peace between the camps. Yeah, but that would be wonderful in a perfect world, Conscious Energy. But yeah, I don't know. You said, Conscious Energy, did you ever help the 20 families on Skid Row, or was that a scam to raise money also? You know what? You said, one thing I know, there are too much emotions on this YouTube sector, too much emotion. You say, you're right, CE. Stop by my page sometime and we can chop it up. Absolutely. You know, CE, my boy. You said, don't worry about my personal business, fake a change. You said, Conscious Energy, so that was another scam. You know what, y'all? Y'all ain't going to be doing this. This is a prime example, though, right? And I like this because this is a prime example of this is an entire conversation and an entire situation going on in the chat room, okay, that has nothing to do with the show. So while y'all combing through people's chats and getting worked up on what people are saying in the chat, it's like, do you see a whole nother show happening in the chat room? Do y'all see this? Like, do y'all see this? Like, y'all don't see this? This is what they do in this sector, okay? Everything is not about you. He says, sup, make a change. Can I transfer everything over through iCloud? You said, Conscious Energy, you can make 1,000 videos. I don't care. You will always be known as a, okay. See, there we go. They're talking all in the chat. You said, Conscious Energy, peace, brother. You said, hit that like. That's right, y'all. Bang that like button. You said, thumbnail. You said, make a change. Remember, MacBook Pro to MacBook Pro. You said, what you going to do about it? Peace and love and blessings. Salute. You said, make a change. It's time for you to make a change. You said, Muslim, I'm not 100 sure. I am a Windows user. The Apple Genius Bar, I transfer the data for you. Yeah, I can't stand I don't like no Apple product. I do got a Mac. I use that sometimes from time to time. I usually use it for gaming though. Like I like my Mac for gaming. I really don't like it for anything else, editing and all that shit. You know what? I'm not reading that shit. Glow said 100. That part, Miss Tpri. I know a little something about LLCs. Okay, like come on, I got a couple businesses myself, so I'm very aware of how business works, and I'm very aware of how to open up a business, to open up a business account and all that stuff. You're not opening no business account, but just, putting your regular name on it. And you got all kinds. I said, if you got certain kinds of money coming through a business account, they're going to make you try to switch that over to a business account anyway, because of what you're doing, like you can't just, it's just, You can't move like that. You got to be careful because the IRS, and like I told her, the IRS ain't going to be knocking on my door for you. Like, that's just it. Like, Sonny, I've been in finance for years. I already know what's up. They're not going to be knocking on my motherfucking door for that shit. You said, hey, to make a change. And you said, hey, to glow. And make a change, said conscious energy. I don't talk to scammers, sir. You know what? You said, hey, to the Slater Show. You said, hello, Glow. How are you? And hey to Dr. Nikki. You said, I'm good. Make a change. Hello, Glow. Glow. Salute to make a change. You said, my beloved Karma. You said, I never asked for her address, but she asked for mine. That's some weirdo shit. And she did. She asked for yours on video. Sure did. She really did. You said, oh, hold on. I didn't even see this this super chat. I'm sorry. Shout out to Gator Girl 04 for the $25 super chat. You said, peace at Black Lounge Divine and everybody. For what it's worth, attacks on your appearance and trauma are pretty shameful and reveal more about those people who hurled them than it does you. Keep standing 10 toes down. Respect. Thank you. And I appreciate that, Gator Girl. It's funny because, you know, people say stuff and do stuff. And I don't know if it's just based off of how I was raised, you know, being a JW. That is one thing they teach you is like a cloak of armor, right? Like, people are going to talk about you. Probably we were one of them. Shakim can definitely vouch for this. We were probably some of the most hated people on the earth, you know what I mean? Or the most talked about and most joked people on the earth. So you have to kind of take people's darts and kind of do things and just let people say whatever they want. And it don't really matter, you know what I mean? So I don't really take what people say to heart. You know, I do realize that a lot of times stuff that people say really speaks to their character, especially when you got niggas that are doing it, you know what I mean? And they have so much energy towards a woman. You can really, you know, you can read through and read between the lines on stuff like that and just know that, you know, it's not you, it's them. But I always appreciate when people can acknowledge that and say that to me. So thank you, Gator Girl. I appreciate that, those kind words, and also the super chat that you sent with it. And shout out to you. And I apologize that I didn't say it sooner. I just saw it just now. So I apologize for that. You said you have legal name of business and type of business, business establishment date with signer's full name, tax ID number, ownership, and to open a business account. Absolutely. Absolutely. I never opened up a business account for anybody at the bank without having all that information in place. And that's facts. Because guess why? The IRS wasn't coming after that bank. You understand what I'm saying? The IRS wasn't coming after the bank, and the IRS was not going to come down on me working in that bank, opening up accounts in that way without having that information. That is the reason. So yes, I guess she thought I just didn't know that, you know, and I was just slow and I didn't know any better, and she could just get over on me with that. And no, you were not going to have the IRS knocking on my door. You said, I'm just glad you and Shakim Raw exclusives are able to talk things out. That was sad that you two fell out because of this situation. It really was. And it taxed heavy on me for a long time, especially considering the fact that she wasn't following through with her side. You know, that made it worse. And eventually I just got tired, you know, I just got tired. And then, you know, I would listen to Shakim's rants and stuff, and I would hear what he's saying. And all the time I'm in the background like, you right, bro. You right. You know, he'd be like, and Tpri fell for this bitch. And I'd be like, you right. But I didn't say nothing. I just waited for a little while because I was still a little mad at him for going live. You know what I mean? He could have said that to me. But, you know, I got over it. Y'all know I don't stay mad at motherfuckers too long. So I just can't. I'm just that kind of person. I can't stay mad at motherfuckers because it's not worth it. The energy that it takes to be angry at somebody is way too taxing and way too much. I don't need that. You know, I try to be light as a feather every time I close my eyes. I have a whole dream catcher over my head, over my bed. Okay. And I try to be light as a feather every time I go to sleep. When I look at my dream catcher, I know this is how light I am. I am letting everything go. So, yeah, you know, I don't stay mad at people too long. I really don't. It's not worth it. You said, hey, and life is too short too. You said, Dr. Nikki, you said, you already know you are my super fave. Exactly. We love Dr. Nikki around here. But unfortunately, some people have just gotten caught up in the fuck shit. You said, Gator Girl, thank you. I appreciate that too, Gator Girl. You said, glow, glow, keep glowing and going. Yes, yes. You said, I timed her out because she's not a regular and I thought she was being facetious. Okay, understandable. And you know what? That's okay because you are one of my moderators. I trust what you're saying. I trust what you're doing. And hey, guys, you guys got to understand, I got some very tight security up in here. They don't play around with the Black Lounge, okay? So, if you're saying something that looks like it's off kilter, just especially with based off of the subject that we're having, then, hey, my moderators might come for you, okay? And that's just what it is. So I trust them, but hey, guys, just allow them to talk because I didn't feel that way, but it's okay. I get why you did it, okay? And it's no problem at all. And like I said, my mods, I trust them. And if they time your ass out, hey, it might have been something you said. You said, Karma 52, hey, happy holidays. And you said, thanks, Gator Girl. He says, same to you, Gator Girl. And Make a Change says, Dr. Nikki, you don't know who that is. I don't. I wonder who it is. Tell us who it is. You said, hey, Queen, Gator Girl, Karma 52. You said, hey, Hun Muslim. You said, make a change. No, I don't. My apologies. Yeah, let me know who it is too. You said, Muslim, assalamu alaikum. You said, Gator Girl, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You said, shout out to the real rubber band man, Conscious Energy, for showing niggas how to double up. 1640, my nigga. Shout out to Naps TV. You know what? That shit was so funny. Make a Change definitely put that up on his channel, yo. I said, how you go from 820 to 1640? Like, and he was the one that was scammed. Like, what the? That was a hell of a fucking come up, man. That was a hell of a come up. The rubber band man. Everybody saying salute to Naps. All right. Listen, guys, I think that's all. Oh. Well, hey, girl. How you doing, girl? You know you my dog. You can come in here with your real name, girl. You ain't got to act like that, ain't you? Tiff is my baby. Shout out to her. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know that was her. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. You said, mashallah, Gator Girl, facts. word. Listen, that's quite interesting. I do miss Tpri. I hope she's doing well. And if that was you, sweetheart, I love you and I hope you're good. Keep up, taking care of yourself and making sure those babies are well and make sure that you are well as well. I appreciate all of the support that you always give me. And I always appreciate the support from everybody, guys. I really appreciate all of you for coming out, listening, and just, everybody's entitled to their own opinion about stuff. My whole thing is don't add to stuff or take away from stuff, especially if you don't know what you're talking about, right? And please don't, try to make up shit and make stuff, and try to quote unquote get ahead of stuff, if stuff isn't even happening, okay? Never one time, Breaking the Culture, have I been out here trying to disparage your name in these streets. As a matter of fact, it has been the complete opposite. I have gotten a lot of pushback from a few people that wanted me to expose this and expose that and put this out here and put that out here and tell this and tell that. And I didn't want to. And I still don't want to. Okay? Why? Because that brings nothing but negativity to me. I like to sleep at night. I like to enjoy life. I like to be peaceful. I like to do, and put good mojo out in the universe. I like to put good energy out. Okay? I do my best to do that. I'm not perfect. I don't always have all the answers. I don't always have it right. Okay? But I do my best to do right by people. I do my best to do people the way I want to be done. I try to do my best to do people the way I want my family to be treated. Okay? So I'm not going to be the type that's going to run around, creating issues for people and creating problems for people and starting stuff and getting this going and getting that. I'm not going to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't give a fuck what your friends, Rev G and AAS, have convinced you. Okay? But I have a plethora of other folks in this sector, hundreds of people, literally, that can back up every single thing I'm saying about them. I don't have to make anything up. I don't have to lie about them. It's all over the place. It's up to you if you want to put your head in the sand and not see it all and act like it's not all there and act like she won't do it to you one day and act like she hasn't already. Because like I said, I know for a fact that bitch was calling CPS on your ass. I don't give a fuck what she's telling you. I don't care what she's telling you, what evidence she's telling you, because guess what? She the only one going live talking about it and talking about, we got the proof. We got the paperwork. We know what it would. She got it because she's the one that called. And she's the one that used, let me see your transcripts, name and likeness, to actually call CPS to your house because you had me at your house. That is the only reason. As crazy as it sounds, as ridiculous as it sounds, this is how ridiculous your friends are. Like, they've been this way for years. This is nothing new. It's up to you whether you want to do the research on your friends to find that out. It's up to you whether you choose to get burned by your friends. I don't know what to tell you, but all I can tell you is what I've seen, what I've experienced, what hundreds of people in this sector have experienced, and what it's been. It's up to you what you do with it. I don't know what to tell you. But either way, if there is a beef, it is one-sided. And you are literally going to be out here windmilling by your motherfucking self. Because I don't have to fight with you. Like I said, you don't have a motherfucking thing I want. You don't have anything I envy. You don't have anything I need. And we can walk away clear as day with no issues at all. Like I could walk away from you today and I will never have to speak to you again. Like you did the other day when you text me and sent me the message from Knockout Media's channel telling me you didn't realize we had a beef. I literally left you on read, right? I left you on read. I don't have anything else to say. After that, you asked me to tell Nikki yesterday. You told me to tell Nikki to sue you. I said, girl, bye. If you got anything to say to any other people, you go and tell them. Why are you asking me to give a message to somebody else? If you got a problem with me, you pull up to me about a problem with me. Don't pull up to me about a problem with somebody else. Just like I'm not going to ask you to send no messages to AAS for me or send no message to Rev G for me. I can send any message I want to any of them. If you got an issue with any of these women, approach them. But me and you don't have any dealings. We have nothing else to talk about. There really isn't anything else for us to do. We don't have any, and I don't have any beef, but I don't really have much else to say. I don't know what else to say because this is how you carried this situation. This is how this went. It could have remained behind the scenes. It could have remained where it was, where I never told anybody anything, where I never put anything out there. But you want to jump out there and save yourself and get validated by the sector because you think somebody's talking about you. Because you keep listening to this fuck bitch. That is your choice. And if you want to drive yourself crazy over that woman, handle your business, baby. But like I said, you are in that boat alone. I'm not on that boat with you, okay? I'm not going down that river with you. I'm not going up that road with you. I can care less what anybody goes in your chat and says. I can care less who agrees, who disagrees. It doesn't matter because I don't need the validation. I'm just putting the facts out there, and I'm particularly doing this for my brother Shaquille. I'm going to drop the link real quick to give him a chance to be able to come up. Also, Dr. Nikki, I'm going to give you a chance to come up on the panel as well, if you would like to speak on this matter, because I know that you have been a topic of discussion in regards to things that I may or may not say. I also have, Shakem and I said that we were thinking about chronologically presenting this evidence to the sector, and we still can do that. But, I don't know how 100% necessary that is right now. But either way, I am dropping the link so that if you guys do want to give your piece and say something, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and play a quick timer while, in case somebody does want to come up, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So it looks like everybody wants to hold their peace. I think that's great. I think that I probably have said enough. So, we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Again, if there's any beef, it is one sided. Okay. You do not, you can go around and hang out with all your troll friends, talk all the shit y'all want, have 6, 7 hour live streams about it. It really doesn't matter. Okay. I said what I said. I feel the way I feel, and it is what it is. What's up, Humble King? I appreciate you coming in the building. Shout out to you. But we're going to go ahead and end the show now because I feel like I said everything I need to say. And again, if I feel like there's anything else that needs to come up, or if anything else comes up later, I may come back to it. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and hold my peace and be done with the situation. If anybody got anything to say to me about me, not Nikki, not Glow, not any other women in the sector, but me, say it to me. And I would appreciate that. I will holla at y'all later. I thank you guys always for tuning in and always supporting the show. Oh, hold up. Looks like we got a guest. Hold on. What's up, sis?
Hey, what up?
Hey, but what's going on?
No, I said you said something.
You didn't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said you said something.
I said if you wanted to come up and give your piece, you're welcome to do that. Anybody that wanted to.
Oh, okay. Well, assalamu alaikum and peace and goodwill to mankind.
Oh, that's it?
And thank you
That's
to our
it?
new sponsors. Y'all stay tuned for new flavors.
Yes. Are you
Oh,
going
and
live
binary
tonight?
fuck you in Japanese and any other Asian language you may know.
Right, all that Asian shit.
Because the black side of you knows what it is, nigga.
Okay, nigga. Are you going live tonight?
I want to,
Mm.
but I have just been having issues staying up till
Oh, I
the
know.
end.
Me and you, right? We be talking about, yeah, we gonna
So
do it and be asleep.
So the plan is to do so. I really need to get with Nappy Yankee to reschedule.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say yes
Okay.
and keep my fingers and toes crossed that I'm up to actually hit the live button. Because again, Joe's already up because she gets off work at that time. That's why we go,
Right. That's
live
why
so
she left.
late. So
Yeah.
those are the plans. So we will see. We shall
Okay.
see. So
You
inshallah, I
know,
will be live at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
mashallah, and I will try to be there too. As long as I'm up. You know me, I'm about
Oh,
to take you guys get in the tub, and I'll probably be sleeping about an hour.
So Tpri, I am so very sorry. Again, I had not seen that name before, and I thought you were talking slick. I thought
Well,
maybe you might have been one of them church people, and I don't have
right.
time for that shit.
Well, actually, the church people are very supportive.
Right,
Um,
but not all of them are, and again, I don't know who they are. So again, I am, gonna make a mistake. Again, I'm
yeah,
solid. I never said I was perfect,
absolutely, and you're right.
and
And
I
it's
just timed the person out. I did not block them. So
okay. Okay, you good? You good in my book? You good?
well, shit,
What's
I
up,
need to be
Glow?
good in the book where it, in the big book, because I want to be in the number.
The number, baby, the number. I want to
Oh,
be
I
in
will
that
say
number.
this.
What's up?
I will say this, Tpri. I don't know who the fuck this girl thinks she is with this. If Nikki wants to talk to me, she can come over here. Girl, again,
Nobody
whenever
going
you
over
learn how to
there.
respect your goddamn elders, you know to go where the fuck they are. You're the one with the issue, so you come to me.
That part.
If I have an issue with somebody, I will go to them.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
sometimes it's in prayer, and sometimes it's in person, and sometimes it's online. So
Okay.
whatever. Like,
Whatever.
girl, stop acting like she and I. Like, she need to stop acting like she and I had this offline relationship. We do not, did not, will not.
Yeah, I really don't. I'll be honest with you, and I've said that too. I don't quite understand because it's not like y'all were friends or anything. I mean, that y'all talked before, like that time we had
We
that
were
conversation
cordial.
with her, right? But it wasn't. It wasn't like y'all were kumbaya besties after that. So I'm not really getting where the emotion is coming in. I'm not. I'm not. Oh, well.
Right. And her issue is with herself, and that ain't got nothing to do with me.
That part. And I feel that way too, in a sense, because I feel like, it's not anybody else's job to protect people's feelings all over the place. And now on top of that's just with my thing. But with you and her, I think she just beefing with you because AAS don't like you. And that's facts. Because she don't have no real reason to not like you. She really don't. She ain't even been here long enough to know anybody and know anything going on. So that shit is just
She is partially upset because of what I said in Daryl Moore, and I didn't put a name on it. Just like if I'm talking to you, I'll put a name on it. But Miss Ma'am, we still working on a receipt show that you said you were gonna have. So when can we get the receipt show?
which
I
was
mean,
what
per
I was waiting
se.
on. I was waiting on the receipt show for her to get the podcast going back again because she kept telling me as soon as I get this done and as soon as CPS wraps this up and I'm supposed to get this paperwork and I'm supposed to get that. As soon as I get this, she done sent me half a pages of stuff and all kinds of stuff trying to prove all these things about this man. And I'm like, okay, well, as soon as you get that out the way, let's get this podcast going because regardless of any of that, these people are not going to stop coming for you. So what do you want to do? Are you going to stop the podcast or we're going to keep going? Oh, no, we're going to keep going. I really want to, but so what's the problem?
Right, but Tpri, you and I talk offline. You know I didn't give a fuck about that shit. I support whoever wants my support. You don't want my support? Shit, I got other shit to do.
Facts. That's facts.
You know I didn't give a fuck about that shit.
And you didn't. You really didn't. But
I was trying to be supportive, and I was supportive by shutting my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all her personalities, all her troll accounts, all her personalities and all her troll accounts can get the fuck.
I don't know. I just know
Go
that
find something to do.
One-sided if she got it. That's all I know.
Again, you real dumb fussing at somebody's back.
Facts, because I'm looking like I ain't got no problem. I'm cool. I didn't get scammed. I moved on. You know what I mean? I'm still doing my thing. I'm out here doing more things. I don't care.
But every arrow, bullet, drive-by, slide, whatever you took for her. And so it's like, girl, bye.
I took all that motherfucking heat for her. I really
all of it
on all different types of platforms
and everywhere on these YouTube streets.
Yes, let's be 100. So
it's like, honey, that mess she made is too big for me to try to clean up. I'm not invested.
Facts. And I'm not going to clean anything else up. It just is what it is. If you're seen a certain way, it's because of you, not because of Tpri. No.
Right. And what she sees in the goddamn mirror. If you don't want to see yourself in the mirror, then stop looking at it. But don't look this way either, bitch, because I ain't got nothing for you. But I got a lot for you.
Okay. What's up, Glow? I appreciate you being in the building, sis.
Hey, Glow, I'm going to drop off. Okay. Hey, Glow.
Yeah, Nikki, because I'm getting ready to fuck up this panel, and then I'm getting ready to go
Girl,
on
fuck it up. Fuck it up.
Fuck up the panel. Let me get my voice together. And then I'm going to drop off.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
I love you. You love me.
Oh.
We're just one big family with a big whack pattern whack. Give a dog a bone. Glow's just sitting here chilling at home. Bye.
Shout out to Glow. I appreciate her being in the building. Listen, guys, I appreciate all of y'all for being in the building. Everybody make sure that they hit the like button on the way out. Truly appreciate y'all. And again, I'm just going to say this. If you don't like what Tpri is talking about, why do you tune in? Because I don't care whether you like what I'm saying or whether you don't, just to let you know. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I appreciate y'all being in the building. And peace, guys. Thank you guys for watching as always.